Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth video, creating an adventure game with GPT-3. I have simplified the prompt. It works much better now. I have also changed the code. We'll talk about all of that, but let's run and see what we're dealing with here. First of all, we get prompted to enter a name for our character. There's only one character now. I'm going to enter echo for the name. This gets added back to the prompt, gets sent to OpenAI's API, and then we get a response. You are Echo, a brave adventurer. You start your journey with 100 health. Level 1, it says, but it doesn't really stick to the levels. We'll see. You find yourself in a dark forest. You can go left, right, straight ahead. What do you want to do? Let's go straight into the forest. Okay, then this gets added back to the prompt, and then we get a new response. You, Echo, enter the dark and mysterious forest. You can feel the presence of something lurking in the shadows. What do you want to do? Investigate lurking. Let's say. Okay. You cautiously approach the shadows, trying to make out what is hiding there. Suddenly, a giant spider appears in front of you. You feel your heart racing as you prepare to fight the spider. What do you want to do? Attack the spider head on. Okay. And then we're OpenAI servers are a bit overloaded right now. I was checking earlier, so it's a bit slow. And also, I just wanted to mention, see this /n, it happens. Oh yeah, the server is currently overloaded with other requests. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, I just want to say, let's talk about the changes to the prompt then. I just changed it to you're a text-based game, directing fantasy adventure story maker. You will guide the character right through different levels of the story. You will give a fantasy name to the character. We can change that, but it doesn't change anything. We're naming the character, okay? During the story, user will enter user strategy. I was still thinking to keep the user strategy, but then I said, well, ask to user as what do you want to do. So it's doing that, and we no longer have to have a stop sequence at user strategy. As you see, I got rid of that because it automatically stops after this, which is great. Even though our token, we're not limiting its tokens. I mean, it has 400 tokens, but each time it asks and stops. So this is great. And I use generate a story about the result and update the character's health. Tell the story with you, because it was kind of telling the story in the third person. I want it to be personal, right? Like, what do you want to do and stuff like that, or you go into the forest. Anyway, this is not a big deal. And then you can read the rest. So this level stuff isn't really happening, but then we're not too concerned with that yet. Okay, I'm just glad that it's actually working in a consistent way. So let's talk about the code changes. First of all, we changed the prompt, as you saw. Now it's much simpler, much more manageable. And this split prompt was printing the part. Now I'm actually returning it and printing it under here. See, I'm assigning response to the split prompt. It's returning it, and then I'm printing it. And like I said, I removed the stop sequence. We don't need it anymore. Yeah, I've assigned a health to 100. I'm not really using this exactly later, but and then I put a level 1. This is still not being used, but name is an input field. What do you want to name your character? This is what happens in the beginning, and then we get and then we add this name in the same way that we were putting in the line breaks by /n. We were adding the name and the health back. Oh yeah, that's health back to the prompt. And then we use this new prompt to get a story and split it just in case if it comes back with /n characters, even though it sometimes still prints them. And then we print it. Then instead of the for loop, I just said simply, as long as the player is alive, has more than 0 health, and if it's sticking with levels, which it is not. Level is pretty much less than 10, let's say. less than or equals 10. Then the user strategy is, so we're putting our name in, then we're getting the beginning of the story, and then immediately we're asking to the user what's going to be your next move. We're just assigning it to user strategy, and then we're adding that back to the prompt, and then we're adding the result element back to the prompt so that GPT-3 will know that, okay, just give me the result of this move. And then we get a new response, generate a new story. I think this is why we're getting the /n, because we're not doing the split prompt. We're getting the response, and then actually remove the /n from the beginning of the response if it exists. I just did this with kind of like a list comprehension. Because it was returning /n, because I'm not using the split prompt, I was having some problems with it. We can maybe try to edit back in, but these are not a big deal. So if it looks at the first 3 characters, I mean, it removes the first 2 characters if the response up to that includes /n. Otherwise, it just keeps the original response. Then adds the response back to the prompt because we want to keep the story rolling. Then prints the response, and then right here checks for all 2-digit numbers. If the health had been reduced, it's checking the numbers because the only number that it really returns is the health number. So far, I found out. So we're checking for each letter, and if it's a digit, and if the next letter is a digit, then we're appending it to this health list. And then if the health list actually have any elements in it, if its length is more than 0, then we get the last element, and then we actually manually print the health. Because you can't, I found that GPT-3 wasn't reliably updating the health, so I just decided to do it manually. So after this happens, then we come back to the while, we check the health and level, and then we begin again. It says, describe your next move. So what happens is, we originally get the beginning of the story right here. Then you're asked, okay, what do you want to do? Everything gets added back to the prompt. We get the response. Check this, do a little check, print the response. So now this is the next stage in the story. After the health check or whatever, it goes back. And then, because now we have the next stage in the story right here, then we can go back and ask the user, describe your next move. So this is the loop, the while loop. It just keeps running and running. And then that's it. So let's run it again. I hope OpenAI servers will cooperate. Name is Echo. Okay, you are Echo, adventure warrior. Okay, quest to save the kingdom. Clearing surrounded trees and tall, you hear distant sound, drums and chanting. Go to the place where the drums are. See, this gets added back. You walk to the place where the drums are. You can see a group of people playing the drums and singing. Okay, make fun. Oh no, that's not. Sit with the people and play the drums. You join the group and start playing the drums. You find yourself getting lost in the music and having a great time. Your health is increased by 10 points. What do you want to do next? So this is a bit of a bug. Okay, even though in its prompt it says that the health cannot be above 100, it's still like it still does that. And then when it does that, then I'm only checking for 2 digits, and then what happens is that it actually, as it's checking, it gets the last 2 digits. So now it thinks the health is 10, which it's not actually. So let's restart. Let's try this again, because I just want to show you something real quick. If we run, and then so we get whatever it says. If I say I fell and hurt myself, then if it tells something about the health, a lot of times it does. Oh, I feel sick and my health is dropping. Oh, I fell sick. That's fine. Oh, I was trying to get it to reduce the health. But anyway, what happens is that what do I want? Nausea. Find a beast and fight it. You can really direct the story with your next mode this way. Yeah, again, it's very slow to get a response. So realize on. Oh, still hasn't responded. Okay, so essentially, I just wanted to show you how we catch the health, but we are unable to get a response so far. Yeah, server is overloaded. But this is what it is so far in a nutshell. The idea is that you can this continues. I wish OpenAI servers were having a better time today, but this creates a continuous story. It's actually a lot of fun. We're gonna improve on it, so I was happy to get it running like this. Another thing I was trying to get it to do is to have a TK user interface. I actually did this by asking ChatGPT. We will convert. So I copied this whole code and I pasted it here, right underneath. But I said ahead of it, we will convert this code to use TKinter to display OpenAI response health and to input the user input, whatever user wants to do. So I gave all this code and I copied it here. It took a minute to get it working. And so let me word wrap it. It works exactly the same. So here we just create a main window, set the title, right? Set the window size, add the response label, health label, strategy entry, a generate button. And right here in the while loop, it's trying to get the strategy from the entry widget. Let me actually run it so you can see. So this is supposed to be the strategy. Then you generate the story. So this, I couldn't get it to work 100%. And then when we get the response, we update the response label, and then health is updated, and then this main loop actually keeps it running. But if we run it, here is the thing, I couldn't also get it to let me try again. Okay. I don't know why it's not running. Oh, what do you want to name your character? Echo, yeah. Well, oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry about that. Okay, the problem is right here. Where is it? No, you. What do you want? Yeah, it should run. Oh, here we go. Okay, I don't know what was going on before, but the point is, so we answer what do you want to name your character here, and then it goes to, it freezes it. We get a response. Here we go. When we get a response, your Echo Brave Warrior with health of 100. You find yourself in a dark and dangerous forest. You can see a mysterious castle in the distance. What do you want to do? Run into it. But the button doesn't work, and I really didn't have time. We'll see. I don't think it's going to work. And I didn't have time to debug it. And I'm sorry that this video maybe is not as comprehensive as some of the other ones, but I just really didn't have time to make. I just wanted to keep you updated on it. I think this is still pretty cool. Yep, it's not working. So we're gonna have to work on this TKinter interface, and eventually, hopefully, make a web interface for this, right? But I wanted to show you something that is really cool in Visual Studio Code. the debugging features of Visual Studio Code is super awesome, and I just want to tell you about it a little bit. That was the last thing I wanted to talk about. So, usually speaking, when you're debugging, you have to always put these print statements to keep track of what's going on in your code. But with Visual Studio's built-in debugging tools, this process is made so much simpler. For example, let's put a stop mark. See, you see all these little dots? You can put a stop mark right here, and we can actually put multiple. Okay, so let's just put 2. And you can't really, when you want to debug, you have to especially use the debug. In this case, I can press F5, or I'm going to say, let me move this here, run and debug. Okay, so it'll start. And it will stop right when it reaches this line of code. Okay. As you see, it came right here and then it stopped. So it executed everything until here and it stopped. So, and let me move this down so you can see. You also have this, okay, let me move this, here we go. And you have all your variables here, like see, we can see health because we declared it. We can see level is 1. Even shows the key, thank God, not all of it. And then it came here. There is no name variable yet because it hadn't executed this line. And right up here, you have some pretty cool tools to actually execute your debugging. This one is step over, so this is just going to go to the next line. Oh, yeah, it asks, so it's executing the input. It's asking me for a name. I'm going to say echo. Now it had executed it. Look, it added the variable name echo, and I can come here on top of the name and it'll show me what that variable is referring to. Now the prompt is as it was from earlier, is written about like right here. But when we go one more, then the prompt is added echo /n health 100/n because we executed this line. And then you can move one more and come to response. Now it's actually connecting. See, we now have a response right here as well. And we can come over the response and actually read it. See, once upon a time where there lived a brave adventurer, and we haven't even printed the response on the terminal yet. But you can see it. This is a great way to debug. And then, actually, didn't we have another dot? Yeah. And you can go one by one, step into and step out of, and you can also just run it. And now we get the user strategy. Now we had printed, echo found himself dark mysterious voice. And what do you want to do? Does it let me? No, I have to go one more. Describe your next move. I'm gonna say nothing. And then it goes to the prompt. It's going to add it to the prompt. It hadn't added it yet. If you go one more, now the prompt should have nothing. Yeah, nothing in it because we typed nothing. Yeah, and then you can actually remove these, and then you can run it, and it'll go back to running it as normal. So now we're getting another response. Yeah. You wake up in a strange place. What do you want to do? So on and so forth. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. And take care.